Welcome in to the Bobby Carpenter Show. And man, it is a great day, second day of Ohio State's practice. I'm excited about that. Did the gasser test this morning before practice started, felt good. Had my kids come over their Schlegs, hung out, pop in the game room, watch some practice, hawk some autographs afterwards, which is always fun. It always reminds me what great dudes we have at Ohio State. And Ryan leans in like after practice because it's like the NFL now. I mean, these guys come here and they have fans at practice, so you're signing autographs and stuff afterwards. And it's great to do that, and that's awesome. But like you've got to have guys that are willing and want to lean into it. So they waited. I got some VIP access for my kids. We had them go inside the indoor, and they're like, "What are we doing?" I go, "Guys, you're going to go to the locker room. They're going to do a cold tub, do media, come to the locker room. This is where to triangulate where to be. I can tell you where they're going to be. I'm not going to go ask for you. You can tell them that, hey, I'm Mr. Bobby's son, whatever, and Bobby's my dad. Great, and they'll hopefully they'll oblige." And they did. I mean, J.J. Smith signed a bunch. I went over. I thanked him after they did, and thankfully they're all polite, which was good. But I go, "Man, thank you for this." He's, "Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing." I go, "It's nothing but your time, and your time is very valuable. People want it." And he started laughing. I'm like, "I'm serious. Thank you." From a dad to like those guys don't get it. And I used to Marvin got it because when Marvin would come through, I was like, man, I was like, I'm nobody to my kids. They don't care. Like other people, so we're signing a couple autographs out there. My kids could care less about me, about you, about Uncle Age, like any of that stuff. James, Hartline, like they don't care about these guys. Even Maurice and Troy. I go, Marvin, just like your dad, you didn't care who he was. You were 18 because of Peyton Manning. I was like, that's how these guys, you are to these guys. And he got it because he grew up with that. And so he was ultra gracious, but Jeremiah, ultra gracious. We had Jermaine Matthews come over. He got a picture with all the dudes.
Nice.
Edric, talked to him a little bit, when he was, rehabbing a little on the side. Sonny, Caleb Downs, just some of these guys were walking through. I was like, hey, man, they wouldn't go over to Kenyatta. I think he looked too. They said it was too scary looking. But Caleb was awesome. Just all of those guys. I'm probably even leaving some dudes out. Yeah, Peyton Pierce stopped and talked. Riley did. Like a bunch of the guys. And it was just very it's always heartwarming to see that when I have my kids out there and how good of people they are. Like you get to be around them. I get to be around them. But to watch them take time, like not just for us, but for the young guys and the young kids around it and just how they embrace it is such a blessing to have those guys like that here at Ohio State.
I'll tell you this, it's taught, it's expected. I think they've done a really nice job. And Bob, you and I mean, heck, we're in our 40s. And again, everybody, hey, Troy V, Bobby's birthday, question mark? Yes, it is. Happy birthday, Bobby Carpenter. And he ran out there and ran the gasser test, looked really good, had more in the tank. And honestly, God bless us with the best day to run a gasser. It was 63 degrees. I mean, hell, Bob, I could have even ran 10 today because of how nice it was. And that practice outside was
I talked to Tyvus because what'd you run them on? 16? I go 17. I was making probably half of them on maybe 16-ish. I don't know. Like you
were. I was timing like you were right on the mix. Your turns were really, really good, and all of them were well in the 17s. I mean, hell, your last one was definitely. And you were close. Like me. Like I'm not watching where you're finished because you're a grown man. You're doing this for you. I'm not trying to make sure that you pass the line forward. I'm calling out 15, 16, 17, 18, and you're crossing. And remember, the rule of thumb is that you cross before the next number.
Yeah, you get the whole second.
So you get the whole second. It could be 16.99, and you made it in 16. Like that's kind of the point. So, anyways, you did phenomenal on that. But let's go back to our dudes. It is what is expected. That is what you do. When you're us, right? Part of us being us even today in our 40s is predicated upon how we treat people with dignity and respect when we were in our 20s and our teens.
Yeah.
Because that's what they remember. People remember the experiences and your interactions with people. And that's what they want to look up to. And the cool thing is, Bob, where you are and where I am with kids that are playing competitive athletics, heck, I got two that are their ages, so, and I'm saying the same things to them. but our younger ones are aspiring to be that. And it's great when they can, do it the way that we did it or that we would expect them to do it, and honestly exceed expectations because of really who they are. And the landscape has changed as the notoriety that everybody has of them, right? Like the world has just gotten so much larger because of social media and the coverage of it now than it was even when we played. But they do a great job of taking time, which is their most precious commodity, because they're in camp and giving it to other people. And it is what is the coaches expect, and they expect it of themselves, and they do a phenomenal job of it.
So speaking of the great weather, and who do you want to break down today, Schlegs? We've got remaining, I think, the tight end. Have we done the tight ends yet? No?
No.
Did we do tight ends yesterday?
No. We did wide receivers yesterday.
Okay, so we've got tight ends, running backs, quarterbacks is what we have remaining then. I figured we'd do quarterbacks last. But it's funny, when I was walking out, that's why I was like hustling to get back here, because you don't let people in the Woody. It's unless they have the lobby open, and they didn't. So there's a guy walking in. I was like, "Excuse me," and he looked over and he's like, "Oh, I'm Julian Sandsdown." I'm like, "All good, dude. You're welcome to come in." He had a couple friends with him, and so I started talking to him. He said, "Oh, Bobby." I was like, "Hey, Bobby Carpenter, nice to meet you. I love your show. Love the show with you and Schleich." So he's a fan. He watches it.
Good.
Well,
it should, because we speak very highly of his son, but we also speak real. We speak real. And like, great kid, man.
He's a great young man. Does a great job here. And he goes, "Man, it's a beautiful day." I go, "When did you get in here?" He goes, "Last night." I said, "Exactly." I go, "This is just like Southern California for you, buddy. Like, this is really nice out here now." I go, "Earlier this week, Louisiana sweatbox and everything that was going on." And he gave me like a little nugget about how Caleb ended up how his son Julian ended up at Ohio State, and some advice he had gotten from another quarterback family of like, "You know what? You should go to Ohio State and play for Ryan Day." And someone, who was very prominent out there, like after he decided to leave Alabama, like, "This is the place for you." So I was amazed, because I told him, I go, "Man," he goes, "I mean, you can't get any better receivers, right?" And it's like, "Yeah, dude." I go, "You got a full-on returning offensive line." I go, "Listen," I told his dad, "I could probably complete 50% of the passes of these guys out here." And I was also saying, like, "Hey, man, it's good for him to come out here, play in this weather." I go, "You're going to have to play." And I go, "He may get player, you get drafted to Green Bay, to Buffalo, to Cleveland, Cincinnati. You have Kansas City. I go, you may have to throw in the cold. So you might as well get ahead of it early on if you get to prepare for Ryan Day and Billy Fessler. You got Hart now working with them all. Like, it's a lot of good stuff." So he was very positive, very excited. Like, all these parents, amazing, because Ryan, they're so honest with the players and their families, that everybody always knows where they stand. So like, there's never anybody that's got like ill will or like is upset, because they know what it is all the time. Like, you're constantly being told, how your evaluations are going and what, like, where you stand. So he was very, very complimentary.
It's so amazing of that, Bob, because like in the league, you can have coaches that will be very transparent what you want, but you could also be doing very well and be cut. And here's the deal, like, they're not talking to your agent about it. Like, they'll talk to you, or it just will happen. And that's what's a little bit difficult. And I'll tell you this, and why I appreciate Ryan and the staff for being that transparent, because decisions need to be made. Like, there is time is of the essence in certain situations. And the more transparency, the more clarity, the athlete, the parent, again, you're not just talking to the athlete, you're talking to the athlete, you're talking to the parents. More people of actually where you are, like, that takes a lot. And honestly, it makes you have to validate what you say every single time, because it does matter one way or the other. And I would say this, Bob, because of that transparency and that relationship, guys that you would think would leave have stayed.
Yeah. It's amazing to kind of see that. And this is one of the guys who is glad that stayed. He's one of the juice bringers. Yes. I forget who said it today. Was it James or Sam, maybe one of the linebackers after practice. Ryan wanted some more juice, some more energy at practice. Like, was it bad practice? No, but like we got to have energy. Like you've got to be having national championship caliber practices every day. And someone said, I'm dripping in juice. I said it like a Diddy party, Schlegs. I mean, why not? That's just get your full drip on with all of it, which is great. But this guy's like one of the ultimate juice bringers right here. Our guy Jermaine Matthews, I got on him. I was like, bro, you got to be the guy all the time, like hyping him up. And he goes, I got it. I'm like, not really. I'm like, I'm not going to throw that evil on you, Ricky Bobby. But there, I go, everybody expects you to have energy because you're a high energy guy, dude. I said you're a character with character, which is the best thing you can ultimately be. So very, very happy about that. What he did. But Jermaine, very gracious with his time, and all those guys that I mentioned were absolutely phenomenal. Also, Maurice Clark was out there, Schleitz as well, having some conversations, talking a little bit to the folks, and everything was going on. Spent some time to talk with my kids, and really appreciated that as well. He'll be back out there tomorrow. Did you enjoy your time at practice today, Schleitz?
I did. I got to see some people, got to talk to some people. Saw Reed Fragel and his son Rowan. He was there. Reed, and I was sitting there talking to Georgie Shockey, Georgie from the Buckeye Cruise.
Yeah, I gave her a hug on the way out. I saw her before we left.
And so I was telling those ladies, like, you see that guy right there? Like, he was a tight end. And then he was a tackle. I mean, like, he's just Reed Fragel is a monster of a human.
Yeah.
Rowan's going to be a big dude. But, like, they're like, I'm just explaining to people, like, what are we watching? I'm like, okay, they're doing half line. So we got the offensive line. You got the left half of the offensive line. That was Carson. Boom, that side. Then you had the right side of the offensive line. And it was like, well, what are they working on? Well, I'm like, look at it. They're working on zone blocking, right? Like that's what they're working on right now. Oh, okay, that's good. And I just kind of like talking to people, like, what's going on? A lot of people don't know what's going on at practice. And so it was just cool to just kind of sit there and talk. Saw Doug Callan. He was awesome. Obviously, our dude Perkins. He's amazing. Got to see all those guys. And EQ Kevin's the best. And I just kind of watched, and I had to get back over here and meet one of your friends, Nate Smith, at the Armory, talk shop about his boys and what they're doing. And then now we're doing a podcast. And then we got that big event this weekend. So it's like, and most importantly, it was funny because you texted me and I was already on my way. So it was Stephanie's first day of work at the ESC of Central Ohio. And we're like, conversating, like, you got to drive into work, and we're in Circleville right now. I'm like, you got to go. I mean, she's already been up. And I'm like, you got to leave. You don't have to be there till 8, and it's 7. But it's going to take you all of that to get there. And
where's your office?
It's over by the airport somewhere.
Okay, so yeah, that's a full hour.
Yeah, and because you got to go the other way, and then you got to go up 33. And then I hop on 23, go to the Armory, but I was coming to you. And then it was like, they're trying to get me to pay $10 for parking. They're like, man, I'm just here for a conditioning test. That's literally what I said.
John Simon. So John Simon, you didn't see John, did you? John was there with his boys, and he goes, John goes, they try to make me pay. He goes, I'm with the Buckeyes. It's just
they asked me, like, do you have a badge or do you have like any type of identification? I was like, bro, I got a whistle and a stopwatch.
And I got a national championship ring from Ryan Day. Say that.
Yeah. I don't bring that. Yeah, they were super nice. They're like, go ahead. And then I just go park with all the people that I know from the grounds crew. And I was like, boom, back way. Here we are running a conditioning test, which, again, very impressed by you. It was a beautiful day.
I appreciate it. They'll have a full video breakdown. I mean, they mic'd me up. They mic'd Schlegs up. I can't wait to kind of see how that video ends up looking when they splice it all together, Schlegs. And
you know what? I'm doing this. AJ and I got you a little something. So I'm just going to do it now because we're going to have some dinner later, and my life is so chaotic. So who knows what that's going to look like? Because I'll be coming in. You might not make
it to dinner. You might.
No, I'm going to make it to dinner. No. I know it's there, but I'm also a junior high intern football coach. I'm coming in hot and ready and sweaty. All right, but I do have my nice clothes. I brought you my nice clothes, and I even brought the little, like, I'm 44 now, so I can't just wear like Jordans and stuff. I spiced it up with like the loafer, like they're my fancy shoes. My fancy shoes. But you got this coming, and we thought about it like, hey, what would be the perfect gift? And we didn't want to make it provocative or anything like that. We're all about full utility. We're all about full utility here. So we got you these. Again, we're thinking about one thing that you and I talked about, old school straps
Yes.
for when you're doing hand, because you got to get back to doing some hand cleans.
Do I? I don't think my back wants me to get back to doing it.
No, just power, fast and violent.
Okay.
Hard, fast, and violent, Bob. Hard, fast, and violent. But just some Jim Reaper, just like these guys. Then, because you're at your farm, get full utility on the river. Who knows where you want to wear this? Okay.
Gotcha.
Got you a 5'11" rucking vest. So now you can run the hills 20 pounds. Because I was like, do we go 40? Do we go 20? But like you can run those hills or walk those hills. Yeah, 40 is great, but if you want to run like the 20, because I do it too, because I'll wear it when I shoot guns and stuff. Why am I doing it with that? I don't know. Why not? But this 20 pounds, there you go. Happy birthday to you. It's practical things. So you can, because again, I did love this too. Somebody told me, they're like, man, you look small. Told me I was like, look small. I'm like, dude, I'm like 222 pounds. I'm like, look at Bob. Bob looks great. And I'm like, Bob, how much are you? I said 235, 238. You're like, no, 242. You had to bring that up. I'm like, yeah, see, he's 22 pounds more than me. Like, he looks phenomenal. And so I pushed it off of me and I put it on him, put it back on you. Well, it doesn't matter how fat you are. You just ran 20 halves in 17 seconds with a 30-second break. I would have said, I want the full 45-second break. I'd have done that. But you did it. You did hard things today. So, hey, happy birthday. You got some lifting equipment, and it's the good stuff. I don't want to give you the crap, so I'm like, nah, if I ain't going to wear it, I'm sure the heck ain't going to give it as a gift.
I appreciate that. A couple other big birthdays I want to throw out there. One of my college roommate, teammate of ours, Doug Daddish, hailing from Holland, Ohio. He is turning 42 today as well, which is ironic. We actually were suite mates during camp when I was like high school camp when we were here together, and then we roomed together our freshman year. And my freshman roommate then as well, and then AJ's dad, our guy Pistol, Dean Keith, second Pistol, and Mark Pantoni just wished me a happy 30th birthday with candles. Like I can just tell how much he's laughing because we're like the same age. Now.
He looks good, man. I saw his arms. He's wearing a long sleeve today.
Gosh, this is terrible. McNeil, like, dude, what are we doing? That's the picture from when I got, I think the phone call when I got drafted. Talking on that. Look how big I am there, Schley. It's just a meat box.
Look at that. I mean, you had the middle part.
And that's the formal living room. Hey, Pat remembers that because I did the show from there, and it's still the same couch, same picture, same candlesticks beside it. That's the beauty of your parents' home. It never changes. My parents would never renovate. They might get a new couch in like the main living room if it gets dilapidated, but never the old one. All right, we're long for a break, Schlegs. We got a big show. We're going to break down the tight end room today. But first, we got to tell the folks about our favorite mouthguard brand. Attention parents and athletes, protect what matters most with Export mouthguards, trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouthguards are scientifically tested to help absorb those high-impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouthguards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber. They custom print those bad boys right to your grill, which, if you go to exportguards.com, you sign up at the Armory for the registration between 9 and noon. You use promo code EXPORT20. You schedule your appointment. You get 20% off, and then you're going to be able to have that custom 3D printed grill for more protection, better performance, max comfort, and clear communication, so you don't have to take chances with your safety and you can focus on your game, not on your gear. So make sure you check them out. I know there's a bunch of folks heading over there tomorrow. I'm going to have my kids over there. Going to be a good time, so please.
We got all sorts of stuff, Bob, and guess what? If you don't have an appointment, come in. Just come in. They got basketball from 9, 10, and 11 in there. We got Pilates at 10. That might be full. It's going to be nice. And I'm giving tours, man. I'm giving tours. We're talking shop, man. Throw it at me.
Absolutely. So go check it out. It should be a good time. Coming up next, we're going to break down this Ohio State tight end room right here on the Bobby Carpenter Show.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
Welcome back in the Bobby Carpenter Show, and I'll be remiss if I didn't say this. Carnell Tate also signed some stuff for my kids, so I want to make sure we threw some love out to Carnell because he's a great dude as well. Like all these guys, just really great players. I know someone threw a question about Bo Atkinson. We'll get to him in tailgate talk. You guys have any questions about how guys are doing, how they look to practice? We'll get all that stuff out there to you. But right now, I want to talk about this tight end room. Schleggs always says it's better to have a loose end than a tight end. So
it's better to have a tight end than a loose end, Bob.
Oh, okay. I inverted that.
Inverted that. That's why we still squat. That's why you still do lunges. You know,
it's like you can't ever walk around, dude, with like a saggy rear end. That's the worst.
Nobody wants an acetol. I mean, sometimes it's genetic and you just got skinny calves, or.
But you can do things to grow.
We've seen it, man. We've seen it.
So here's the tight end room. It's just kind of off the top. You had Will Kazmarek, who transferred in from Ohio University, played a lot last year, was kind of that starting frontline tight end. G. Scott was the receiving guy, but G could block too, became tough. So he's a redshirt senior transfer, and he was on the show with us, talked about the culture, talked about the toughness and everything that they have there. So I anticipate him to still be kind of that lead dog tight end. I think they'll do about as much 12 personnel as you can probably handle. And I could see them even doing some 0-2, which is 0 back, 2 tight ends, 3 wide outs, because Will's such a good blocker that's another way to get 4 guys out in the route. Not many people blitz that for that personnel grouping. And then you still have your 3 elite receivers on the field. But Will's a better receiver, I think, than people believe. He's a dog as a blocker, and he's a leader of that room.
Yeah, I absolutely love Will Kazmarek, since we're going to talk about him. I mean, first off, he's been on the show. Will's a big guy. Actually, the day right after the show, I saw him at Potbelly's over there down the road, and just reminiscing. And we were just talking about, strength and conditioning and where he was when he came in and where he is now. And Will's subtle. He has good speed. He doesn't have great speed, but he's so big and he knows how. Guys, Will is like 265.
Yeah, he's a wide dude. That's why I call him Schleggs. Instead of Will Kazmarek, I call him Bill Kazmaier.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I love that. Yes. But that's how, he has very, very strong lower body. He has improved tremendously in his upper body strength. But he's a guy that was very physical with his upper body. And he's one of those guys that, Coach Bailey can build around because he does all of the extra things. And when you got a room with Max, who just came in, and a Jelani and a Bennett Christian, you still need that. Bennett Christian. Anyways, you digress me. First off, he's going to add a lot of value, but you're absolutely right. You can still stick with that 12 personnel, put him on the line, and you could even have Max flexed where he's on the line, right? And your 2 wide receivers and a running back, and you can still do everything that you want out of that. It's all predicated upon the matches that they want to have. And he gives you that weapon of, that physical presence on the offensive line that can still also, because of his frame, go 1v1 with a linebacker or a safety and come down with that catch.
Absolutely. So then you mentioned Bennett Christensen, or Christian Bennett, however you want
Bennett Christian, no S's at the end. Yeah. This is not Bennett Joe Burrows.
You're right. Bennett Christian, who I talked to him, and he loves you, Schleggs, loves it. And,
I love him, man.
He's a fourth-year junior. And another guy that's like Will Kazmarek, big, physical dude. He's from Georgia, came up here, loves it. And, Bailey was saying, there was a time on the game, the scores in down the low red zone, they had 4 tight ends on the field. Bennett Christian was one of those guys.
Yeah.
And he was down there making blocks, getting push. He's a better athlete than what people give him credit for. He could be a pretty darn good receiver. the thing is that you just have so many receivers at Ohio State, so he probably didn't get the play of that. But he's another leader in that room, and he's going to give you more versatility. So those are the two kind of older guys that have been here. I guess Will transferred in. Then you get to a guy who I think has been kind of the star of the first 2 days. Not star, but he's made some really nice catches. And that's Jelani Thurman.
He had one today. You see that one?
Yeah, he had a nice one yesterday too.
It was like reach over, like really good.
Faded, caught it over the middle of the field. Like he is a huge dude. His mom played the WNBA. His dad is Odell Thurman Schlegs, who played the Bengals, who big physical dude, played for Georgia. Got great genes, but came in here probably not the toughest dude in the world. He's a basketball guy, and that's just usually how basketball guys are. Wasn't all that interested in blocking, I don't think. Want to catch balls, probably wasn't a big weight room guy. And that's not a knock on him. That's kind of what it was. But to watch his metamorphosis this year, Schlegs, because you were around him last year and you got to see that, and I kept leaning in on him. Key kept leaning on him like, dude, if you want to be good, you want to be an all-around tight end. Don't just give me, I want to be this blocking guy. You want to be a guy that's a great receiver and a great blocker, because then teams cannot – I've told everybody this will listen. I go, if you're just a great receiver, they'll put a DB on you because they're not afraid of you to block because you're not going to run the ball. If you're a great blocker too, you're going to get people like Schlegs, a big stiff, who have to play the run game. And then who would you rather run routes on? Him or like Malcolm Jenkins, who they're going to put inside on you? Like, it's not even a question.
Yeah, I would say this, like Gelato. Guys, I had great experiences with Jelani, and Urban would say, I pay you to train Jelani Thurman, because some days he's going to come in and he's not going to have juice. Some days he's going to come in and he has juice, and I could always tell by his face and the way he carried his shoulders. No, I'm just serious. No. I didn't say that to him. I said, hey man, now's the time to make your mind up that you're going to have a great workout. Let's go. And you know what? Here's who you're working out with. And I would honestly put him a lot with Will, because Will is a no-nonsense type guy, and Jelani would pick it up, and then he needed some encouragement. And then he also needed some in-your-face stuff, all very positive, but he needed it. And then it would be the side convos of like, I believe in you and what you're capable of. You don't even know what you're capable of. I do know what you're capable of. Your coach over there, this is when I let him back in the weight room, he believes in you, right? You got to believe in you and that this work is going to work. And his body frame and his ability in space with that basketball background remind like this was literally last night. I'm driving in the car, listening to Westwood 97.1 The Fan with the Hall of Fame game, and Antonio Gates just got into the Hall of Fame. And it was just, a big guy that played at Kent State, basketball guy, but he understood how to box guys out, use his body, go up and get rebounds. Like, that's how Jelani is in the passing game. It's even that catch I saw today. I was like, man, this is what we wanted. And it's just, you don't have to, here's the thing. You don't have to love the weight room to be great at it, but you have to love the process that the weight room puts you through that allows you to be the best version of you in your craft and respect it that way and know how to strain that way because of what it's going to do for you on the field. And I think now, and again, who cares when it trips for the athlete? As long as they trip, and it happens. And that's why when you said that, I'm just so excited for him. Not only the fact that I know his dad, right, in his background, and I saw him, a year and a half ago and worked with him, but he's just somebody that can really elevate. I mean, could you imagine, Bob, if you went 12 personnel and spread the field?
Oh, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Oh, yeah.
Who are you gonna cover him with? Right? What is that gonna do to the run game? Right? Oh, then we're gonna bring him in. Same for we got to go nickel, guys. All right, cool. They're not changing the personnel. Boom. And now you got two tights, ace formation.
Yeah.
You're just like,
pound the ball
because now that, like, okay, now we got nickel playing against those guys, and they can block, but they can also do this in the passing game. Gives you a lot of options, man.
Absolutely. All right, I got one more statement to make about Jelani, then we're going to get on to the transfer max. Claire, who came in, who has done really, really well and had to make a little bit of a metamorphosis himself, but we'll talk a little bit about that coming up here on the Bobby Carpenter Show. All right, welcome back in the Bobby Carpenter Show. And a lot of great stuff in the chat. A lot of stuff that we'll be able to get to here in Tailgate Talk. Defensive line, Bo Atkinson, developing some depth. Is this team more talented than last year? Who knows? We'll figure all that out. But we were talking a little bit about Jelani, and it's amazing, Schlegs. I saw him in the weight room kind of going back at guys with some competitive excellence.
Yes.
I look over at Kenny, KP, Coach Parker, and I go, it's amazing when the guy like starts to lift a little bit. All of a sudden now he thinks he's the toughest dog. He's the toughest dog in the room. I'm like, we didn't really like lifting weights until like last year. Now all of a sudden we're talking trash and like we're feeling ourselves a little bit, which is good. That's a good thing, man. Develop that bravado, develop the confidence, because that's where that confidence is developed, Schlegs, as you know, it's developed in the competitive excellence in the weight room in the offseason. Like that, you don't become tough and become a dude in November. You become a dude through the offseason, and then you simply reveal yourself in training camp, in week 5, week 8, whatever it is. Like, but the coaches can see that, like, that mentality shift, and we've seen that from Jelani. Now,
I'm going to say this. We had an intern there. I saw, he's like, you don't remember me. And I did it. And I was like, I remembered him. He's like, you remember me 3 years ago. I was like, yeah, but I'm 44 now. So that's bumpy. But he was there, and we were just laughing about certain things. And the point was this. The one thing I loved about Urban and Ryan is really, taking it, moved it forward, is that there is no gray. We coach you in the weight room just like we coach you on the field. There's disparity, right? When the weight room is soft and the field is hard. Like, you can't just go out at practice and just flip the switch and have competitive excellence in those moments. Those are things that have to be trained. And that's what you're seeing. Like, it's not just the confidence of him now starting to be able to lift weights. Like, he starts to win in the competitions, right? He carries his body a little bit different, right? He has more confidence in himself. Just like you at 42, like, I still got confidence to run a 42, a 20 gastric test, right? Because you train, you're prepared. And now he knows how to prepare himself for a lift and all those things. And that's just maturity. And he's doing it. It's great to see.
It is great. And another guy.
Side nugget. Ethan.
Onyama.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's a big. Seeing him again at practice, like he just dwarfs people. Anyway,
do you think he's got bigger quads than you?
Quads than me? Yeah, he does. Bigger calves.
He's got huge legs, dude. His lower trunk is like a rhinoceros. Like he is so thick. Like his legs and butt.
He's dense. He's dense.
And he's lost weight. He's leaned down. But
all right, Max, go.
Now, Matt, look at that right there. Just working, dude. Legs. Strain. But
just get extra work, man.
Yeah, Max Clare coming in. And he was, the leading dude at Purdue. I've heard some NFL evaluations on him and people talking that there was like 5 or 6 teams that had him as a first-round tight end, last year. So he transfers to Ohio State. You go from being the dude at Purdue, now you're here, and, like, you've got to fall in. And I think his first week, Mick paired him up with, like, JJ and some dudes like that, and it was not a pretty picture. But they said, you know what? He kind of, like, pulled out of that thing and probably looked around. It's like, okay, well, this is why Purdue and Ohio State are different. Okay, so if you want to go to Purdue and be the man and be good, and then you get to the NFL, and even you get drafted high, like, oh, I got like a learning curve. Or you go into the NFL as a sharpened samurai saber because you've been going at other dudes all the time, poof. And you watched him. I think he got most improved this offseason, Nick was telling me, which is great because he was getting not great early on. Most improved, worked his butt off. That culture in the room, like, Jelani, like, probably looked at him like, I can own this guy. Like, in these workouts, you get those guys competitive, and so you want to push back. And the biggest thing I always get worried about is these tight ends that have 75, 80 catches plus. Do they block? Like, are they willing to be a part of the team, or do they just want to be the guy that you throw the ball to? And that's been great. I watched Max do a good job in the spring. He's getting after. Listen, he's not perfect. Like, he's never probably going to be as good a blocker as Will Kazmarek, and that's okay. Will's never going to be as good a receiver as him either. So you've got to balance it, but you have to be willing, and then you have to develop the ability. And he's now willing, and that ability is coming along. And with that, like, you're going to have a really, really scary front on the offensive side, man. And we've got a ton of tight ends. And I think Mick told me, Schlegs, we have 14 tight ends and defensive ends. on this team. And they've got Roberts, the dude from Oklahoma that came in, who's a true freshman, who's going to be pretty good. He was like one of the top tight ends in America, came here over top of Oklahoma and is going to be here. And like
Coach Bailey, I see you, Coach Bailey, taking him right out of.
Like, why did he want to come here? And I asked him, like, why'd you want to come? He said, because he said this was the best. This is where to go. And he loved the room. He loved the mentality. You want to come here and compete? You know, it's the Top Gun. You're the best. I'll make you better. So that's a big deal. And so that's that whole tight end room. Got a chance to talk about that a lot, laying it all out there for you, the different skills and attributes. And there'll be packages with all those different guys. And that's the beauty of what Heartline is going to have to put together is how do I utilize all these different things? Because when you do that, Schlegs, like you mentioned, it's a matchup game. There'll be some games you may play a lot of 11, maybe some 12. There might be some games more 12 and 13. Maybe some games a little more running without of 11 or 12. Like sometimes maybe we'll get 12 and we'll throw the ball because nobody is always going to be good at everything. And when you have a lot of different options, it helps you solve those problems. All right, before we get going, I want to tell you about our friend Schlegs over Backer, bckr.com. Brand new premium Buckeye gear. It's hot right now. It's a little chilly today. You could have worn that Backer windbreaker out there and felt good. It's better quality fan gear. It's all the features that you're looking for. Wind, rain, cold. They've got it all taken care of. They've got great hats as well. All of the little doodads, you can roll the windbreaker up and stuff it in like a poncho and tag it on your side with a carabiner. Like they've got all the zippers, the key hooks, everything you want. It looks great and it feels even better. So go check it out. bckr.com. Use promo code all caps BOBY at checkout, Bobby, for free expedited shipping. Again, that's Backer, bckr.com. Please go check them out. We've got our headlines coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, welcome back into the Bobby Carpenter Show. And we've got our headlines brought to you by our friends at Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service ad agency built on trust, on strategy, on performance. They do it better than anyone else, from digital ad placement to the broadcast buys with their creative and everything in between. They are going to have you covered. At Lake Spur Marketing, they just don't have some boilerplate, set it and forget it strategy. All their tactics, they're going to be customized to your specific needs within your industry, within your business. Leave the marketing to them so you do what you do best, which is help run your business. They'll help you grow it. Lake Spur Marketing, the proof is in their partners. Visit them at lakespurmarketing.com. All right, the big news yesterday, after I had left practice, people were asking, they're throwing up in the chat, what happened with Edric Houston? Is he okay? I'm thinking, holy smokes, what happened?
What happened?
I didn't know. And they're like, so about period, I think that 15 periods yesterday, I went inside with probably 4 or 5 to go. That's when they went inside. That's when I left. So Edric today, and Pete Thamel came out and said, we're going to toss this up here, Pat. You're talking about his injury, reported lower body injury. Pete Thamel said that it was probably going to be nothing serious, nothing long-term, if you will. After seeing him over there, talking, I think he's going to be all right. First of all, you've got the best PT in the world, Schlegs, and Dr. Adam Stewart. He's terrific. And I don't think there's anything structurally involved. So it's going to be simply a function of getting back, getting healthy, and returning to play, which for an Ohio State team that we'll get into our tailgate talk, a lot of questions about the DTs, that will be a big piece of it.
Yeah. I don't know where I'll tell you this. I'm not worried about Edric being back. You do want him to get these reps in early camp. But I want to save more of this defensive tackle talk for tailgate talk because you guys had some really good points in there. And I think I'd probably be able to elaborate on it more in that segment. But he's in good hands. He will be somebody that's a difference maker up front. and we just got to get them back on the field as soon as we can, knowing that the main thing is the game that we have against the state university that's called Texas.
Plus, the most important ability is availability. And so there's no point in rushing him back. You remember what they did with Donovan last year, Schlegs? Like they very slow with him. Now, Edric does need some reps. He just played D tackle for just a year. He hasn't been playing it forever. So it's a little bit tougher balance there, and they've got to develop that continuity. But this is also going to give, Tywone Malone, Will Smith, guys like that a chance to shine and for them to grow. So it's a
competitive excellence, man. Next man up. You're right, Bob.
It's going to be a blessing to get to see what they can do, and they're going to be in pads tomorrow, full go, getting ready to rock here as they round out the weekend. All right, that's it for our tailgate talk. Coming up next, that's it for headlines. We got our tailgate talk where we answer your questions coming up next. All right, welcome back in. It's our tailgate talk brought to you by our friends at Real Truck. Pat wanted to make sure to point out he was at practice. He had a knee brace on, but he was walking around, riding the bike inside, doing some different things. Like he was able to move under his own power. And so that's where you look at that. Like, okay, it's not going to be crazy serious,
No, especially if you put a knee brace on, you automatically think that he hyperextended. Probably didn't have any. You're not going to put a brace on, some type of contusion. Could it have been something on, an MCL? But like. You also, the thing is this, he plays interior defensive line. It's not like he's having to run down the field with a real route or cover somebody 1v1 as a DB. It's just different, and they can come back from certain things. But again, how do you do that? You just limit the volume that you're going to get, and you make sure that he fully recovers, and there's nobody better than Adam Stewart.
Yeah, you reminded me of you, Schleich, with that knee brace on when you hurt your knee in practice.
Shoot, I played 6 games with a second degree, almost third degree tear in my MCL, and then Dr. Kading fixed it with some exotic surgeries. Like, that was the first one ever done, and it was on you. I actually wrote a case study about it. I'm like, yeah, it still feels good. That's why I do a lot of leg extensions. Honestly, bulletproof those things.
79 Steely Matt has in here on a personal note. Is Bobby going to Hyde Park tonight? Schlegs, I don't know the locale of what's going on. Like, is that the thing?
I don't know. I just put on there probably home field so we can get a Schlegel Slam pizza and drink some garage beer.
Well, that would be great too. Our good friends over at Home Field do a great job. I thought Pettijohn was the same. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Someone asked a question about Bo Atkinson earlier. Like, how is he looking? I thought he was a beast. And he has looked good. Bo has looked really good. I thought he's a big dude. Like, you see him out there, Schlegs, like he looks like a big defensive
He looks
end.
the part.
He's very strong, linearly, very explosive. I think he's going to be a good piece on that edge. Like, we've got some good ends. They've kind of had him and CJ working together, and then Caden Curry and Kenyatta working together out there. But Bo has looked very good. He's going to be a nice welcome addition to this defensive front. You got anything else in here, Schlegs?
No, they're asking just about the depth and at the defensive tackle, and with Edric going down, and what do you do? And here's the thing: like, somebody put in there. It's not that they're unproven and not playable. That was kind of the question. And I'm gonna say this: like, part of that is when you lose 2 guys, a first-round draft pick and a 5th-round draft pick, and the TNT of last year, it's the guys and the coaches' responsibility to develop them and make sure that they're ready to step up in the same manner of which the seniors left. And that's a huge issue. I just remember, Tyleek and Ty. I mean, Ty is a enormous human being. I'm talking like 22-inch arms, very thick.
I knew you were going to go to his arm size because he had the biggest arms I'd ever
all
seen.
the time. I mean, like they're so big. But it was like Tyleek had that little quickness to him, which is a little bit of K-Mac, but they were dogs. I mean, they rose to the occasion. And again, that's what we're looking for, right? Those are the things that can be developed. And then again, Bob talked about the weight room, how that's developed, but it's also on the coaches and on themselves to have that mindset that I could be that and step up. So it's not just, they're playable. we don't want playable. We want excellence. And the standard has been set very high in what you lost last year. And I think they can rise to that. That's why you have camp, though, because, yes, they have to have that depth. And, yes, with Edric being in a knee brace, still able to play on his own at practice, these guys are getting valuable reps. And every rep matters. Every competitive, excellent rep matters, especially inside. And to your point about Bo gives them versatility. If they did want to go to, it's like, who do you look at? You got Edric and you got K-Mac. Who could potentially be another 5, though not as big as a true 5 technique, but still big enough to be able to hold a point or get in that C gap? Like Bo is that type of guy if you had to, which then does what? Allow some of your faster perimeter edge guys to be able to go attack the edges. But you got to be able to have somebody that can build that wall, and he's a big, girthy dude that could do that.
Absolutely. Well, Shikes, what do you think? I mean, are we Hulk Hogan status right there, No?
Yeah.
There we go. Dude.
Yeah. I like it, man. Look at that.
Yeah.
242, folks. 242.
242 at 42. Probably I'm about 30. I bet I'm about 38 now after not eating all morning and running that and cramping. I need to get some more whatever that stuff, the Rehydrolyte or whatever the heck I'm drinking, the liquid IVs. Get some of that here. Water up.
From the fuel station at Ohio State. That's what you got to do.
Absolutely. And get in the cold tub as well. We'll have to head back over there. All right. We're going to wrap up the show with Schleg's Dude of the Week. All right, Schleg's, show is yours.
All right, so let's save your list. We need to save that list, Bob, because you're a great one that's on there. I did an event. I want to save that because I would like to save it with AJ because that'd be amazing. And I want to talk more in depth about that list. Last night I did an event for Pelotonia and Simply Community, and it was at Cindy and Larry Hilsheimer's house. And those two are my dudes of the week. Pelotonia has gone here. I mean, I think they've raised over $6 million. They got 7,500 and change this year, grown from 600 riders from last year. But it was a great event, and like just open up your home. And Cindy, she owns and runs, Beecher Hill, and she's out there like setting up chairs. And we had our new CEO, Dr. Rathmill from the James, was there, Bob. She was actually the head of the National Cancer Institute, like the alpha doctor of cancer in the world. She's now at the James, but you and I are so involved in the Buckeye Cruise. And again, it doesn't matter what you're involved in. We all have a role to play. We got to play our role. And those two just opening their home, 350 people that were there, Bob. It was amazing. And all the money goes back to cancer research at the James and the Ohio State University. And I just, dude and dudette of the week.
Perfect. Love it, Schlegs. That's it for today's show. Stay locked in. We'll have your updates from practice coming up here on Monday on the Bobby Carpenter Show.